In this video, I'm going to talk you through everything that we know about the brand new sectorial next wave for Combined Army Infinity N5. Welcome to the Dice Gods, my name is Hydra, and in today's video, as I say, we are going to look at all of the information that Corvus Belli has released to the world about Next Wave, the brand new Combined Army sectorial. With that in mind, thank you so much to Corvus Belli for giving us copies of the miniatures and the sort of pre-release profile information, fireteam, sectorial data, everything we could possibly want, and we're afraid to ask for. It's really, really cool that they've decided to support the community in that way in such an ordered and structured fashion. So good job, guys. I very much appreciate that. But now let's get into what you're actually here for, the new toys. So in this video, as I say, we're going to have a good dive and root around in all the information that we have been given by Corvus Belli, which is extensive, I have to say. So let's start with who they are. If you've been playing Infinity for a while, you will know that the Combined Army has invaded the human sphere about 10 years ago in canon. It's roughly where we are. And they turned up and they kicked humanity's butt repeatedly over the past few years, taking more and more territory, spreading further and further into the human sphere. As they've done that, the human occupants that have remained have sort of come under the control of the various factions, Morats and Chasvasti, within the Combined Army, and that's not necessarily been the best, effectively. Now, Achilles was a hero of Aleph, and he, this is clearly not any type of Aleph bias here, betrayed humanity over one small misunderstanding. When following protocol, Aleph wouldn't, rightly so, let's be honest, for the safety of all in the human sphere, wouldn't resurrect his little buddy, Patroclus. Now, it's completely understandable. Patroclus was lost within the sort of sphere where he could be corrupted by the evolved intelligence, the Combined Army's Lord and Master, and we can't risk that Aleph could be influenced or corrupted by that evil alien power. So, clearly, Achilles had to live with the fact that Patroclus was left for dead, and as it should be, as is right. But no. He had to get all stroppy and had to then sort of leave and go over to the Combined Army and join them, because they would, obviously, understandably, resurrect that corrupted force that is Patroclus. Clearly massive betrayal, but, there it is. He's taken the opportunity to gain power for himself by forming a shield to look after the humans, which are now under the cosh of the Combined Army. And this is the next wave. They are humans armed with alien technology who are out there to look after the people of these, unfortunately, currently occupied territories. So they see themselves as an evolution of humanity, and that's what they see themselves to be, effectively. He's pulled together some of the freedom fighters, the ones that were actually fighting to get back into the human sphere, and people like that, and sort of smushed them together, given them some alien toys, bribed them clearly against the righteousness that is Aleph, and yeah, that's what you've got in Next Wave, this kind of human conspiratorial siding with the aliens force. I mean, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but that's a rough outline of the lore. Let's have a look at the force composition. A lot of this is new, a lot of this will look familiar. Everything down the left-hand side of the force composition here is brand new and shiny, and a lot of it's in the boxes that we've got. So Harbingers are in the box, Rain Dancers, Cliff Jumpers, Ironsides, Juggernauts, Contrabellars, Smugglers, we can call those Contrabellars, they're Smugglers. We also have the Steel Jaws in the box. The rest of that we don't have. Come to the second column, everything there is known, aside from the Glyph Warcore, but that's a shiny Warcore, as we'll talk about in a bit. And on the right-hand side, we have Bit and Kiss, Kodali, these people we know, and then we have the traitorous Team Achilles with Pandora, Chusa, Drakios, Patroclus, and Achilles. So that's what you can have in this. I mean, as it says at the bottom of the screen, a lot of what you're going to see today is the pre-release information we've been given by Corvus Belli and is subject to change. So just bear that one in mind. But this is the latest information that we have. An interesting force. What you'll notice about this as well is that we still have Icadrons in here, so we do have some of that cheap order generation tools along with the drones as well. So you do have your heavy hitters, your expensive heavy hitters in the form of Team Achilles on the right, Achilles and Drakios and Chusa and stuff like that. They're not cheap. Ironsides and Juggernauts on the left as well. These are not cheap units, but with those Icadrons, with the drones, with Harbingers as well, they're pretty cheap, to be honest with you. These are good order generation units, but let's look at the profiles a little bit further. So this is the wonderful shiny action pack that you're going to get, and it's all red and kick-ass and grr and pretty and nice, and a review coming to that later, but there you go. That is what we're going to get in the action pack box. One thing you'll notice here as well straight away is looking at the Ironsides, the big guy on the right hand side with the cream type coloured armour plates. Very Gwylos from Shazvasti. The weapons, very Gwylos. Sorry, very Gwylos, very Shazvasti. It's a very Shazvasti influenced technology, which makes sense. I totally get that. But it was a nice touch. It was a nice way to make them coherent, to bring them all together. But let us look at the profiles. First up, we have the Harbingers, the light infantry munchkins. Cheerleaders, if you will. So a broad profile here, but fairly standard for a light infantry 4-4 movement, CC15, BS11, so they are very much down in that Nox Trooper area from Shazvasti. Viz 10 equally, Whip 13 is, it's not awful. 1 arm, 3 BTS, that's going to become a theme, and 1 Vita and S2. AVA 5 in this sectorial. Now, skills, courage, dodge +3, again, that's going to become a bit of a theme. You're going to see that one popping up a few times. And combat instincts, they can't be surprise shot. Cool. Loadouts, combi rifle, HMG missile launcher, AP marksman rifle with the BS attack -3. That's a spicy meatball. Then we have the reinforcement specialist operative. Fine. A hacker. Now, a hacker with mine layer, EM mines, a Vulcan shotgun. Reminder, this is a Whip 13 BTS3 hacker for 18 points and 0.5 SWC. That's not bad. A standard mine layer with shock mines for 14 points and 0 SWC. I wouldn't be shocked if that changed, but if it doesn't change, hello. A forward observer, AP submachine gun zapper, flash pulse, and wild parrot. That's also going to be a little bit of a theme too. Not the wild parrot, but come back to that one. And a paramedic and a lieutenant. So that's a 13-point lieutenant option with Whip 13. And that +3 dodge. That's not bad actually. That's pretty tasty. Let's be honest. What I mean about that wild parrot is the feeling that I have with Next Wave is that it is what I've referred to previously in other videos as an and unit. It's a sort of a telltale of N5. You don't just have a light infantry. You have a light infantry with +3 dodge, and it also gets things like the wild parrot just schlepped in there for that 13 points. Let's be honest. In N4, a 13-point forward observer with Whip 13, an AP submachine gun with Zapper and Flash Pulse would not be bad. But this is a Flash Pulse +1 burst with a Wild Parrot, with that +3 dodge and combat instinct. It's and. That's spicy. It's a spicy little unit. The AP marksman is a nice touch. You've got the standard core things you might come to expect with cheerleaders of the HMG, the missile launcher, all the different types of specialists, paramedic, forward observer, hacker, they're all in here. It's all greatest hits and all the other options too. Very versatile unit. In the box, before you go back and look, the action pack has 2 combi rifles and a hacker in there. So this is actually a very capable little bundle that you get straight out the gate. Next up, we have our cliff jumpers. Do we think he's airborne deployment? 10 points for everybody who said yes. So we have 4-4 movement, CC16, BS12, so that's a nice little bump. Viz 10, Whip 13, 1 arm, 3 BTS, there it is again, 1 Vita, and Silhouette 2 of it, AVA 3, which I could live with that with these, because BS attack +1 burst, dodge +3, hello again, mimetism -3, parachutist, combat jump on Viz 13, which is tasty, and jet propulsion. Not a surprise for that latter, but when you have the options here for light shotgun, heavy flamethrower with paramines for 21 points, maybe. Killer hacking device, submachine gun, zapper decharges, 23 points. That's not pleasant by any stretch of the imagination. And the forward observer, boarding shotgun, flash pulse, power mines for 22 points. The boarding shotgun, so forward observer, is the version that you get in the action pack as well, in case you're wondering. Again, and unit. +1 burst on that BS stack, +3 on that dodge, with the mimetism, with the buff to combat jumping, so you're coming on that 13. It's interesting because combat jump Fizz 13, Fizz 10, and then +3 on the dodge. It effectively means this unit is Fizz 13. But rather than it just being Fizz 13, you've got to buff the combat jump and then buff the dodge separately for flavour. Not entirely getting that as a design choice, but okay. Seems unnecessarily messy. However, even with that taken out of the equation, if we look at the Cliff Jumper Killer Hacker, for example, this is a Whip 13 Killer Hacker with BTS 3, which is tasty, submachine gun, and it's got decharges. So it's just that little bit better than just a Killer Hacker, because it can do other classified deck missions. It's got decharges. Surprisingly potent. And again, the +1 burst on that submachine gun, surprisingly potent. Ah, yes, the Rain Dancers. Now, these are a bit of an odd unit, if you ask me, and we're going to dive into that. But if anyone looks at this and doesn't see Dead Space, I don't know what to say to you. It's just that helm, Dead Space, all the way as far as I'm concerned. Now, Rain Dancers, Light Assault. So, these are light infantry with the 6-2 movement. This is something that we saw the other day where the sectorials, the odd sectorials came back in. This is starting to be a thing. Light infantry with 6-2 movement. CC 23, BS 12, Biz 12, Whip 13, 1 arm, 3 BTS, hello, 1 Vita S2, and then martial arts level 3. So, you know, can never have enough of that choppy. +3 on the dodge again. They're +2 inches on the dodge. These are 4-inch dodge, mimetism -6 with stealth and religious troop. Before we get to their profiles down the bottom, though, note on the left-hand side, these are irregular troopers, which is a bit of a pain in the butt, to be honest with you, but they are. So that's the world we live in now. Now, first thing I want you to note on the left-hand side, all but one of the profiles here are all FTO. They are all fireteam options, and the one that isn't is a forward deploying mine layer. They're not pleasant. These guys are not pleasant. Submachine gun, chain rifle, grenades as a standard loadout for 18 points is not bad. With that dodge, with that martial arts, with the mimetism -6, with the stealth, these guys are crunchy. And that DACCW with potential survival 5, yeah. So then we have the FTO with Red Fury and chain rifle. This is one of the ones in the box. 1 SWC and 24 points. These, I don't know, I always have an issue with irregular troopers, them being 24 points for an irregular order. But I wouldn't want them to be any cheaper, but also. The next one they have is the BS Tech +1 burst on the Contender. This is one of the other ones that's in the box, chain rifle grenades. 0.5 SWC and 20 points. It's a lot. It's not cheap, but these are very much an and unit. If they were regular, they'd be too cheap. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. So 2 of these are in the box, and then you have a light shotgun variant there as well, and the forward deployment version I mentioned previously. No specialists here. These are purely killers. Grenades, chain rifles. We're putting templates down all over the place. We've got a breaker pistol if you've got stuff that's got high armor but got low BTS. Submachine gun, Red Fury. Up against light infantry, even some medium infantry, these are just going to chew through them like a buzzsaw, to be honest with you. And you're not going to be hitting them back on that mimetism -6, especially if they're in cover at -9. You get into close combat with them, it's going to be a bad day for most things with the martial arts level 3, so that's what, +3, -3 to the enemy and a special die to you. Yeah, with the DACCW with PS5, yeah. You know, it's fun for somebody, just not you if you're facing it, but very, very cool unit. I love the design of them. I'm not convinced about that irregular order, and we'll talk about why in a second. Next we have a glyph. It's a Warcall with +3 dodge. That's the only thing you need to know, because, you know, 360 visor, 6 sense. These are 4 points, however. They've got the flash pulse on, as you'd expect, but it's that +3 dodge turning up again. Just pop, there we go. So these dodge on a 14, because of course they do. But it's a Warcall. If you love Warcalls, you'll love this one because it's a Warcall but better. And if you're like me and you're allergic to Warcalls, it's a pretty miniature and probably going to spend most of its life as an HVT. But there we go. There she is. The traitor. I mean, sorry, there's Pandora. Isn't she looking... You're looking well, Pandora. Glad to see you. So this is our first member of Team Achilles that we're going to get in the box. 4-4 movement, CC 17, BS 12, Fizz 12, Whip 14. Yep. Arm 1, BTS 3. Haha. Vita 1. So courage, dodge -6, so she gives people -6 to dodge. Fair enough. She's a fire team master with stingers. We don't know what stingers are yet. They're one of the units we haven't seen, so okay. And no wounding camp. So she's effectively 2 Vita, effectively. Hacking device with upgrade 0 pain, so she is a complete pain in the butt to hack in the reactive phase. But yeah, that's cool. 4 different hacker variants, one of which is chain of command. We've got picture pulsar, flash pulse +1 burst, and viral pistol +1 burst. The miniature's actually sculpted with a viral pistol, so that's kind of standard. 0.5 SWC, 24 to 29 points. 29 points if you take the chain of command option. My favourite here is probably the SMG picture, flash pulse +1 burst. But then the medikit's kind of useful, but I don't know. Your mileage may vary, but she's, again, a useful, a Whip 14 BTS 3 hacker is never to be sniffed at, especially when it comes with that extra wound. Yeah, she's cool. She has always been, and she remains cool. Absolute traitor and should get fragged off the board as quickly as possible in general principles, but she is a cool miniature. Now a quick break from the actual main box. We get to the boss, the governor, the Dalai Lama, Achilles himself. This guy isn't out yet. He's going to be out, as I understand it, in blister later, ... but soon, but later. Effectively, he's exactly the same as he is now, but 10 points cheaper. So that's the thing. Because, people weren't taking him before because he was too damn expensive. So what we're going to do is we're just going to make him cheaper. I mean, he's a micro tag. 6-4 movement, CC 24, BS 15, Fizz 15, Whip 15, Arm 3, BTS 6, Vita 3, Frenzy, Martial Arts level 4, BS stack SR -1, literally a tag, Courage, forward deployment +4 inches, Dodge +2 inches, Mimetism -3, Nano Screen. So for those who aren't familiar with Nano Screen, that effectively means he's in cover permanently. So for most shots coming in at him, he's going to be effectively Mimetism -6 and effectively Arm 6 with 3 Vita. Best of luck killing that. Stealth and no cover. So S2 micro tag with either an AP Spitfire or a plasma rifle, neither of which is fun. And they've got the X-Visor options there too. Interestingly, if you take him in next wave, he's the lieutenant effectively, which makes sense. He's the governor, and he can get you +1 SWC with the plasma rifle. How useful that will be, your mileage may vary, but it's an option. So effectively, our Achilles at home is 10 points cheaper. That's what's just happened here. And he's still dirt, and he's still unpleasant, but now we might actually see him because he's kind of freaking useful and kind of sits well with his army, and yeah, no thank you. There he is, the Ironsides. Not a Shazvasti unit. Definitely not. It looks like one, it smells like one, it's not. But that said, what you're looking at here is pure thoroughbred heavy infantry, 6-2 movement, CC 17, BS 13, Fizz 12, Whip 13, 3 armor, which is nice. BTS 6, because when 3 isn't good enough, let's just do 6. 2 Vita, S2, AVA 3, BS stack -3, Albedo -3, so anyone shooting him is having a bad day. If you've got MSV, you're having a really bad day. Combat Instincts, you can't surprise shot him. Attack Aware for that bonus goodness order. Techno-Organic, this is a new rule. This means he can be healed by an engineer or a doctor, which is kind of cool. And a religious troop, so he's too stupid to get in cover. That's it. That's the tweet right there. What does this badass come with? Well, the model that's in the box has got the APHMG, because heavy infantry goes Burt, but you can get a multi-rifle variant with a light flamethrower with PS6 and a disco baller. Disco baller, baby, hello. All of these guys have got Cobra pistols, which are usable in close combat. 36 points for that multi-rifle, light flamethrower, disco baller. I mean, it's a BS 13 disco baller, which is not necessarily an awful thing. But the ones that come in the box, APHMG, light flamethrower, Cobra pistol, 1.5 SWC, and 44 points. That 1.5 SWC is impressive. We had the other day, with those new factions that came out, the Metro, he's got BS 11 and an HMG, and he's 1 SWC. This absolute monster is 1.5 SWC. Clearly, yes, the costs are different, but big difference. Heavy rocket launcher variant if you need it with the EM carbine, and then killer hacking device. This feels excessive to me. A Whip 13 BTS-6, 2 Vita, tack-aware killer hacker with an emitter for 34 points. That seems a bit much, but here we are. And then we've actually got a lieutenant with multi-rifle, light flamethrower, and disco baller, because nothing is funnier than trying to get somebody, let somebody kill you when you just keep popping a disco baller on your own head. Absolutely, let's do it. This is hilarious. We love this. So, next up, the Juggernaut. Baby? I'm the Juggernaut. Now, if you've seen the movie, you know. We're from a tactical rock into a tactical wall, but that's a story for another time. That's a tag, guys. That is a tag. It's monstrous, and it's a tag. What do we know about this bad boy? So, 8.2, CC22, BS14, Fizz 15, Whip 13, Arm 8, BTS 6, and 3 structure. Now things start getting stupid. This is an and unit brought to, not, I fear, its natural conclusion, but certainly ramped right the frickin' way up. That is a CC attack +1 burst, BS attack saving roll -1, standard. Courage, ECM guided -8, because -9 or -6 is not good enough. Dodging on a 12 with guard. A gizmo kit, Fizz 12, tack aware, climbing plus, oh mama, remote presence, and techno-organic. So again, that healing by a doctor or an engineer. Anyone that can get close to him that can heal some stuff can be healed by this one. So we have the plasma rifle +1 burst with the heavy rocket launcher, 1.5 SWC and 82 points, or a multi-HMG NCO or multi-HMG lieutenant. Wowzers, what to say about these guys? The thing that really stands out to me about the Juggernaut is, like I say, it is a thoroughbred and unit. We have tack aware, we have climbing plus, we have tech organic, we have that gizmo kit niceness, the -8 on the guided, we have dodging on 12, which is fine, we have courage, we have BS tech, but we CC twice at CC22 with a DACCW weapon at PS4 with guard. So anything that we can see within 8 inches, nom. When you have something like a heavy pistol and you have the ability to shoot that heavy pistol at 8 inches in good range, you get +3. But you also have the ability to guard and CC something. Then you can come around the corner and you can look at the enemy and be like, right, you're going to CC me, I'll shoot you with a pistol. And then your ARO becomes idle because you can't CC me because I shot you. If you shoot me, then I'm going to CC you because I've got all the positive stats there. I'm still burst 2 and I'm CC 22, and yeah, I mean, you're going to force more saves with that DACCW. It's just the range of options and the direction that this profile suggests that Corvus Belli is going with their thinking, with their units, with the direction of things. It is an extension of that and concept to a very painful extent. Do I think it's a bad thing? No, I think it's some of the most interesting, innovative and exciting design that we've seen from Corvus Belli, not just in the miniature itself, but also in this profile, what it means, what it can do. I think it's a very, very cool direction for them to go. And before anyone else, the stalled are on below. Yeah, as standard, you've got the ancillary remote inside there. Dodge +3, mimetism -3, specialist operative climbing plus, ultra mobile, basically specialist operative with Whip 13. Why wouldn't you? It would be rude not to. But I think the Juggernaut is a very, very interesting unit. I think it's a very, very cool design, actually, the way that it sits. And will you ever see the plasma rifle on the board? I think you probably will, but with the flexibility, the movement that this guy brings to the board, I don't know, maybe do you want to get it down the board and get into close combat with that guard and start giving people bad choices with the plasma rifle? So many choices. This is probably, for me, the single most standout, exciting unit that we've seen from Corvus Belli in quite some time. It's gorgeous. Anyway, AVA 2, so you can bring 2 of them, which you kind of can at 80 odd points. So, yeah, definitely. Now we have the Contrabandoleros. I think I probably said that badly. The Smuggler. So we are looking at a 4-4 moving CC16 BS12 Phys 11 Whip 13 1 on 3 BTS because of course 1 Vita S2 unit with surprise attack -3, hidden deployment, camouflage, dodge +3, infiltration at 16, immunity shock, mimetism -3, stealth, terrain total. So this is potentially hidden deployment in your opponent's half of the table at what you'd roll on a 10, so 50-50 chance it's going to go across the board. And. But these are not cheap. These are not, by any stretch of the imagination, cheap. You either have the standard version with the combi rifle, zapper, paramines, pistol, 29 points, hacker, killer hacker, mine layer, which is just horrific. We put the shock mines outside the deployment zone, and then there's a submachine gun zapper somewhere around here too. Yeah. Or the forward observer with boarding shotgun. The version of the box is the forward observer boarding shotgun. So that's the kind of one they're looking at you doing. But again, this is a forward observer with a boarding shotgun, with a zapper, with flash pulse, with decharges, 426 points, in hidden deployment, potentially in your opponent's half of the board, with that +3 dodge. There's a lot of mileage to be extracted from that particular unit, and none of it is to the favour of your enemy. They will not appreciate seeing this particular bundle of fluff materialise in their deployment zone, or close to their deployment zone. It's just not pleasant. That killer hacker, that hacking device, especially with Whip 13 BTS3, again, this is really, really useful. This is really, really potent. And you're potentially doing that thing where the tag walks out of the deployment zone past you, and then you just total control it and thank you very much. Yeah. Anyway, we shall see. Are they that potent? No, but it's an unpleasant thing in a list of unpleasant things. There are many bad things in this list. Many bad things indeed. Next up, yeah, Steel Jaws, nom nom. Tech Drakens, what a fantastic name for a very interesting unit. So this is a warband unit. It is irregular, so bear that one in mind. But 6-4 moving CC23 BS10. Who's shooting stuff? Well, you might be, but probably not. PH13, Whip 13, Arm 2, 3 BTS, 2 Vita. These things ain't dying anytime soon. Silhouette 5 with an AVA 4. So martial arts level 2, so this is effectively CC26 with -3 to the enemy, CC attack with armor piercing, tech organic, so healable by anything, dodge -3, dodge +2 inches, climbing +, immune to critical hits. It's just filth, CB, please don't. Mimetism -3, terrain total, and too stupid to get into cover. Sorry, religious troop. So this is a fetch unit. You send it fetching stuff down the board. Now you have 2 options. For 18 points you can get a sensor one with flash pulse grenades and viral mines with a boarding pistol. All of these are modelled with boarding pistols, the one that comes in the box, so whichever one of these you want to take is fine. With a viral CC weapon with PS4. Yeah, it's fast moving, with the climbing plus is ultra mobile. It's -3 to hit, it's immune to critical, it's got 2 Vita, it's got 2 arms. You know, that APCCW is nasty. A boarding pistol is not friendly. Grenades is not fun. Viral mines is not fun. The sensor is hilarious. We're running down the board and ping, where is everybody? Yeah. And then we have the other variant, which has the art turret, which I imagine is a deployable turret. I just don't think it's been translated from Spanish. So you can deploy a turret off the back of this bad boy as well. So yeah, there's that. It's not friendly, it is quick, it is ultra mobile. It is not anyone's friend. But, I mean, look at that miniature. Isn't that a cool miniature? It's a cool miniature. So, fire teams, violence is better together. These are the fire team charts. You've probably seen these kicking around the place, but the important ones for me, we've got Team Achilles at the top there, so taking everybody from Achilles and schlepping them all together and going, rah! This is kind of cool. The key thing before actually you want to notice that top right hand corner, Fire Team Core 1, Fire Team Harris 2, and Duos Unlimited. Again, Harris 2. So you can have a Core and 2 Harris out the back of this. Yeah. So Team Achilles, you know it's just going to be a meat grinder of violence and destruction. No one's going to appreciate it. You'll find it funny, and that's important. Then we get the Shadow Fire team. This can go Core, Harris, or Duo. Patroclus, we don't know his stats yet. The Harbinger, we've seen those. Those are your light infantry. Those are your cheerleaders. Achilles, we've seen him. Then the Rain Dancers with FTO. Now, Rain Dancers are very, very cool. They're the guys that we saw earlier with the Dead Space masks. The problem I have with them is they're irregular, so they're not going to be able to contribute their order to this fire team. There's some special rule coming. They're just going to be dead weight inside of here from an orders perspective. Not ideal. But then we have the steel jaws that you can put in there too, because sticking a woofy blooming sensor bot dog in here for 18 points with 2 wounds. Hilarious. Absolutely freaking hilarious. Remember those Harbingers, the light infantry, they can have all of the specialists. Then you can stick a steel jaws in there, a cheap, air quotes, cheap, regular order, and then a Rain Dancer with that Red Fury at the front. Yeah, I leave that between you and your friendship group as to whether anyone's going to love you after that. Then we have the Reshirts group, headed by Pandora. Achilles can go in there. The Stringers, who we don't know who they are yet. The Wraith, we haven't seen those yet either. Steel Jaws we have, big woofy dog. And then the Black Hearts, we've not seen those either. Then we have a Harbinger fire team, so a pure light infantry fire team where you can mix in Achilles, okay. Wraith, don't know. Chusa, Kodali in a fire team. No one needs that. And Black Hearts, the unknown. Dragon fire team, Drakios leads the march here. Interestingly, he can keyword match. So Team Achilles can keyword match, but Achilles can't keyword match with the Shadows. The research group with Pandora, very, very limited what it can match. The Harbinger fire team, nothing can match apart from the Wraiths in there. Drakios has got some more options, adding the Rain Dancers, those heavy infantry Ironsides into his fire team there. Taking that Harris of Drakios, Rain Dancers, Ironside, even Steel Jaws in there, maybe as a core. That's got some mileage. And then because, you know, of course, you can take the big Juggernaut tag and slap a Ironsides on it, or do 2 Ironsides together, or 2 Juggernauts together. Clearly, this is a good idea. I don't know why you wouldn't. I feel dirty saying that, but here we are. And then we have the wild card options at the bottom there with the Nexus, which can join in. I think Unidron is a legacy from other armies that one appears in, but Nexus can go with the Harbinger. He can keyword match with that, which is kind of cool. Nexus are always welcome, and Gearhead FTO is also a wildcard. There you can really see the flavour. Okay, we've looked at those units. They are very versatile units. They have lots of options, lots of choices and stuff that goes in them. What you're seeing here is fire teams, more fire teams than you can normally get. You've got that extra Harris in there that you can get, and you can build these sort of toolkit fire teams with very flexible, very durable in a lot of circumstances units. They're going to be hard to hit because they've got that dodge +3 in most instances. A lot of them have multiple wounds. A lot of them have mimetism. These are very durable units with a lot of different things they can do on the board in fire teams where in a lot of circumstances they can keyword match. It's a very, very potent army. It's a very, very potent army where you can put together, it's kind of, if you've seen your generic combined army, how that's gone, these real heavy hitters backed up by some sort of auto-generating munchkins. This is the evolution of that. The munchkins got more useful, the heavy hitters got a bit more, sort of a bit cheaper and a bit more useful, and then you can take more of them. Overall, what you're going to be seeing, I think, with the next wave is very flexible fire teams coming at you. They're going to be hard to put down. Not impossible to put down. There are weaknesses here. But they're going to be hard to put down. And they're going to be able to do multi-role on the field. This isn't going to be like, this is a specialist bomb fire team. This is a specialist bomb with ARO possibilities, with a very, very big, capable gunfighter at the front of it. Genuinely, I think there's some very exciting and interesting options in here that people are going to have a lot of fun with. So, as a playstyle, there we go. Central character driven, you've got the Team Achilles there. You're going to use those as your heavy hitters. You're going to put those down the board and do the violence with them. You've got the capable units with a range of tactical uses in game. As I say, you've got those different abilities, those different bits of equipment that can get slapped in there. Several fire teams, they can be customised for multi-role in game. You've got very unique units with some distinct flavours. I'm thinking about your Juggernauts there and your Rain Dancers. These are very, very distinctive, flavourful units inside of there. They're hard to hit. You know, you're looking at lots of dodge bonuses. It's just the amount of +3, that 15% sort of bump to dodging out the way of things is incredibly useful, is incredibly potent. And then we have lots of BTS. If you want to try and hack these damn things or anything equivalent, you want to try and use viral on them, they cannot, because everybody has pretty much BTS. So yeah. Thank you to members and patrons for supporting the channel as ever. It's not just Corvus Belli that supports us, but it's these guys as well: Chris Sexton, Mr. Cheshire, Jim Callahan, Michael Rowan, Mike Pierce, and Sean Colburn especially. You guys are top tier, along with all the rest of the priests below and the acolytes who don't get a shout out here. But thank you all so much for supporting the channel. And if you would like to see more from the Dice Gods and like what we're doing, do please consider signing up either on YouTube or on Patreon. Costs less than a cup of coffee and makes all the difference. But that is it. That is our overview of what's available so far for Next Wave, for Combined Army. There's a lot more to come. There's a lot more things we need to talk about, and there's going to be a lot more information that comes through. We'll be seeing Army updated with the full roster of different units later on this month being October 2025. So if you're in the future, how was it? Was it good for you? I hope so. But we'll be talking about those new profiles when they will come out. But for the time being, do please like, share and subscribe. Get the word of the Dice Gods out there. Hope you appreciated this. Thanks again to Corvus Belli. We will see you all again soon. Take care and goodbye.